What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is my discussion slash review of Black Clover episode 102. And it's not going to be that long because this was a recap episode, but I'm okay with that, man, because this was a great stopping point to have a recap episode and give us everything that we got in this episode. At the beginning, it was some nice story progression because it pretty much picked up right after last week's episode, but towards the end is when we really got the story progression and seeing some new stuff kind of take place. Manga readers know exactly what I'm talking about, but also I want to talk about this before I dive into this episode. Manga readers as well, again, when you saw NERO at the statue, you know what's coming. Super excited for that. But yeah, man, the whole episode was a recap episode, and I'm not mad at that. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was absolutely perfect. And I love seeing all of the fights again, and Asta and Yuno's story. And we kind of got it like from Sister Lily's perspective because she was reading letters and she was just thinking about it because she saw Asta and Yuno again. Then we had it pretty much from the father's perspective as well as him thinking about Asta and Yuno when they were kids and when they were first on the doorsteps of the church and everything. And it was nice, man. And I love how their foster siblings love and look up to Asta and Yuno. Like, well, especially Nash, man. It's like, oh, well, if Asta can do it, I can do it, man. And I love that. And I love the letters Asta writes to the sister and his foster siblings. And Yuno writes letters too. His is super short. And then we had one moment where we see that time where Asta had his arms cursed and he couldn't write, and then when he could be allowed to write again and be able to write, the letters was super low. Like, they covered the table. It was so many letters and so much money that he sent them and everything. And I love that because they're his family. He sends them the money. He sends them letters telling them about his adventures and everything. And I love that Asta and Yuno both sends money to the foster to their foster siblings and the father and the sister. And I love that about that, man. I love them so much for doing that. And it shows that they're the older brothers that's taking care of everybody else now that they're off on their own adventures, having a grandiose life, being magic knights, man. And then we get to see all of the stuff that happened with all of the fights and everything. And when they met the Wizard King for the first time, and that one wonderful moment when everyone found out that they was peasants from Seki running his mouth, and they just shut everybody down with their powers. I love that, man. Everything was wonderful, man. So there's really not much to discuss, I mean, because it was a recap episode. But one thing I did want to point out, it looked like all of the flashbacks and everything that we seen, it looked like they had got reanimated for some reason. They looked a little bit better than they did like when we originally watched some of them. So they looked so much better in this episode. Even some of the ones that were a little off look very good in this episode. And the fight with oh man, I can't think of his name. Anyway, the dude from the Diamond Kingdom that steals everyone's power with the black eyes. I love that fight so much. It's a great fight. It's animated so perfect, and it does so well. The movement is on point and everything. The only thing that throws off to me is the art style of everything that was drawn. Like Asta and the other characters, they look good at certain points and pretty much throughout the whole fight. But like the extra and everything around it kind of looks a little off. But the animation in the fight was perfect. I don't want anyone to misinterpret what I'm saying. The animation was perfect, but the art style was a little off. But yeah, it was a recap episode, man. And then we get to the end where Asta is trying to heal the father, and he can't. The big sword is not working. So then all of a sudden, the smaller sword pulls itself out of the grimoire, and Asta thinks about Lick when he had it, and he grabs it, and he starts seeing all of these flashes and feeling all of this anger and rage and everything. And that's when he pulls it out, and he pulled it out, and that's when he started seeing all these flashes and stuff. And then Asta transforms all of a sudden halfway, and next thing you know, it ends. That's how it ends. Like, we had a recap episode, and I'm not upset about the recap episode, but then you tease us with such a major point, and then you decide that that's how you go off. That's how you end this episode, man. That was crazy, man. But yeah, that's all that happened this episode, man. Like I said, I enjoyed everything. It's I think now was the perfect time to have like a recap episode like this, and getting teased with a little bit of information. I'm perfectly fine with that. And like I said at the beginning of the video, man, we got teased with the NERO and at the statue, and we got teased with Asta pulling out the other sword. So we got a little information in this episode. So this is your boy, Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.